from ET Figure Unboxing, and in this video we're going to take a look at S.H.Figuarts Captain America Civil War version. So I really like a box art they're doing over here. It gives me kind of like an American feel. And here is the left of the box, and here is the right of the box, and here is the back of the box. And let's not waste any more time and bust this thing open and see what we got. So here we have the figure itself. It came with 3 pairs of hands, a shield, and extra headpiece. And that looks really good. It does look like Chris Evans, but let's check out the figure itself. Alright, so here we have the figure itself. And before we compare him to the Age of Ultron Captain America, let's just take a closer look at the figure first. And I know this is a complete new sculpt, but I feel like they're exactly the same as the older one. They didn't change anything in terms of the way it moves. Like the joints are exactly the same. He's probably a little bit bulkier here and there, and they fixed something like, you know, small, but he is exactly the same. I don't feel like I'm getting a new figure at all. Maybe except for the face sculpt. The face sculpt looks really good. The realistic technology they're doing here is pretty nice. But if you look closely, the eye still looks a little bit pixelated, but you know, that's gonna stay that way for a while. They're not gonna master technology within like a year or two. And yeah, it still looks pretty good. I do have some QC issues over here and some over here, but I saw some serious QC issue with the nose from like Anthony Custom and some of the reviewers from Hong Kong. I saw like they have like a really big like pimples or whatever like over here. It's really bad. But anyways, that's it for the introduction. Let's jump straight into the articulation. Alright, so for the articulation, we're not going to spend too much time because you guys probably already know what to expect, but just bear with me. He can look up and down, no problem. He can turn his neck, no problem. This thing has really good articulation. There's a lot of ball joints in there. Like this is on the neck and on the head. And his shoulder, you can do some pop out thing, and there's some butterfly in there. That's pretty cool. And this thing is on a hinge, and he does have a bicep swivel, and he has bicep curl, and there's like a ball on the wrist and everything. It's pretty cool. And the torso, you can actually pull it out a little bit, so it allows a little bit more articulation, so he can really bend. And he can like bend down as well, and he can actually turn like this. That looks kind of unnatural, but you know, it's pretty good. And he can do a lot of stuff with the hip as well. And this is the older pull down joints they feature over here. So he can basically do a lot of stuff. You can exactly what you would expect. He can do like, you know, I can do this all day pose and stuff. Or he can do some like boxing poses, ready to fight. Or he can do some crazy kicks. We're gonna do some like posing later, but yeah, you get the idea. He can basically do whatever he wants. Or he can do like a really crazy kick like behind. Pretty cool. Yeah. And let's compare him with the Age of Ultron Captain America. Alright, so here we have both of the Captain Americas side by side, and I really can't decide which one I like better. I feel like in terms of head sculpt, I would actually go for the Age of Ultron one. I still prefer the comic look and the slicker design. I don't know, he just looks a little bit more slim to me. I like the slim design, but I'm not too sure if that's accurate because I can't remember from the top of my head if Chris Evans looks like the Civil War one or the Age of Ultron one, because I know he's a little bit buff, and the Civil War one is definitely buffer, but that makes the head looks a little bit bigger, and I feel like in some angle he looks like a gorilla, but that's just my personal like opinion. Don't let it bother you. And yeah, aside from that, just minor difference in their suit, like in terms of color. Like there's black, there's no black, and there's red and there's no red. This bicep is like have white stripe and the other one doesn't. But yeah, you can decide for yourself which one's better, but for now, let's jump straight into the accessories. Alright, so for the accessories, let's just start with the most important piece, which is the Chris Evans head sculpt. And I gotta say, this looks like Chris Evans 100%. And do let me know in the comments if you don't think this looks like Chris Evans, and screw you too. I'm just kidding. I'm just saying, like, for 1/12 scale, this is really good already, and we're not collecting hot toys or anything over here, and I still think this is probably the best Chris Evans has in the 1/12 scale market right now, and this is the only reason why I bought the figure, or else I wouldn't have bought a new Captain America. And yeah, it looks really good. Alright, so next up we have a pair of display open hands, and these are really cool. It's really stylish, and it's meant for him to grab the shield, I believe, but yeah, you can be creative with it and do this kind of like really cool anime poses and stuff, and that looks really good. Alright, so next up we have the actual shield, which is the main event. This is where it gets kind of interesting because there's a lot of stuff you can do with the shield. But before that, let's just compare it with the Age of Ultron one. They're essentially the same thing, but the star on the Age of Ultron has a little bit more design. And I think this is a little bit more bright compared to the Age of Ultron one. But yeah, that's pretty cool. But yeah, the first accessories we have over here is you can actually assemble this, and you can just like put this on here, and there's like a peg over here, and you can like just put it on his back. Yeah, there's something you have to pull it out. I lost my Age of Ultron one before, so I gotta be really careful with this. Yeah, this piece is so ridiculously small. I'm really afraid to take it out. Oh my god! Yeah, I had to go look for it. Here we have him assemble the shield, and that looks really good. I love it. Alright, so next up we have a pair of hands where he can hold the shield in a way where he's just trying to throw it. I'm gonna show you guys that later, but before that, I realized they put on a little bit more detail over here. So I didn't realize they included like these two pieces where you can just assemble and it will look like the shield is resting and not using, and that's really cool attention to detail. I like it, but I'm not too sure if it's so important though. And here is the actual piece where you assemble onto his hand, and then he can hold the shield. So what you do is you have to actually remove one of the pieces over here. Wait, let me just try to do that. But these two are actually in different scales. So let me just take that out, and then you have to just put this on here. Yeah, so it doesn't look awkward when you're not using the other part. So you can actually have like a resting piece over here. So you're doing it like that. So that looks pretty cool. So this is what he will look like holding the shield, and that looks really good. And this one feels a lot tighter compared to the Age of Ultron one. So they really did put a lot of effort in improving this. So that looks pretty cool. And one thing I gotta mention also is that it is easy to remove the hand. Compared to the previous one, this is so easy to swap. Like, it doesn't feel like anything's gonna snap. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I like the attention to detail they're doing. Alright, so here we have him holding the shield, and the way you assemble that is just, you know, exactly as you imagine. This is exactly what you do. Just that clear piece with that and everything, and just everything lines up. And this thing holds it more securely than the Age of Ultron one. So I'm actually quite surprised. They put a lot of effort in making these better. And one thing I gotta mention is that it is really easy to swap his hand compared to the previous one. You can just, you know, pull that out, and it's really easy, and it's really secure as well. So I like what they're doing over here with the attention to detail. It's really great. Alright, so lastly, he came with a pair of hands for you to hold the shield, obviously, and I'm gonna try to do this on camera. Just bear with me. This is like a different piece they're doing here, and it's a different design compared to Age of Ultron. So you just slide that in over here, and then you put... Nah, it's just too hard. I'm just gonna show you guys what it looks like after. Alright, so after you line everything up, it looks amazing. This is a way better design compared to the previous one, and I love it. I just love it. Alright, so that's all the accessories we have, and let's jump straight into the size comparison. Alright, let's just get the Avengers out of the way first. This is what he will look like next to the previous S.H.Figuarts Avengers. And hopefully we get a new Thor, because that face is really bothering me. And here's Captain America next to some of my Naruto figures, and they look pretty good. And here we have some Dragon Ball figures, and which I know a lot of you collect religiously, and they look very good together. And here's Captain America next to some random Figmas I have around here, and they look very good. I like the scale. And here's Captain America next to some of my favorite Kamen Riders, and they look fantastic. And next up we have him next to some of the Star Wars figure, and they look very good together as well. And lastly, we have some more random figures I have around here. We have the DR's Mewtwo, the S.H.Figuarts Bruce Lee, the Figma Leonidas, Revoltech Raiden, and Super Action statues on Tokyo Ghost Shu Tsukiyama. So yeah. That's it for the size comparison. Let's jump straight into the final thoughts. Alright, so for the final thoughts, I highly recommend the figure, especially for those of you who missed the Age of Ultron release. This is a really good chance to own Captain America, and he is great. And even if you do have the Age of Ultron Captain America, the headpiece alone, it's worth the buy, in my opinion. But, you know, that's just personal preference. The sculpt is great, the paint job is nice, but it does have some QC issues, so, you know, you just have to be lucky. I think that's it from me. Do let me know in the comments what you think about this figure, and don't forget to like and subscribe. My name is Eric. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace!